Hi everyone, I am Rahul Kumar. Now, India plans to stop building new coal-fired power plant apart from already in the pipeline by removing a key clause from the result of final draft of its national electricity policy in a major boost to fight climate change. Government probably feels it would be a good idea to carrying with the old plants even after they have completed 25 years of operation. Carrying with the generating units that are more than 25 years old is not a bad since the station's heat rate with well-maintained plant does not get adversely affected with age. The advantage of carrying with the old power plants are that the transmission links are already there and that are the cold linkages are maintained. So let's look in detail. But further we in detail try to solve this question. The term internationally determined contribution is sometimes seen in news. So please let me know in the comment section. So what is the significance of the move? It shows that India's commitment to fight against climate change and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. India proposed coal power capacity is the highest after China. Both India and China account for 80% of the active coal projects, aligning with the global trends to phasing out coal and shifting to cleaner source of energy, encourages development of renewable energy and energy efficiency. The government plans to achieve installed renewable energy capacity of 500 gigawatts by 2030 and net zero carbon neutrality by 2020. So it's important. Allowing a new coal power plants to commerce and construction will not just send mixed signal and distract the market from ambitious renewable energy target. It will also jeopardize the growth of the renewable energy industry, improves air quality and public health by reducing pollution from coal combustion, reduce India's dependence on coal imports and enhances energy security, reduce cost of electricity generation. There are 33 zombie coal plants proposals which is either seek or have received permits but are yet to start construction. These power plants will be 2 to 3 times more expensive than renewable energy options. So, how much India's electricity generation relies on coal? First is India is highly dependent on coal electricity generation. Nearly 60% of the electricity generated in India is from coal and its main source of nation's greenhouse gas emission. Non-fossil sources account about 40%. The electricity generation from coal-based power plants in 2020 to 23 saw an increase of 8.87% over the previous year. The electricity generation target for 2023-24 was fixed at 1750 billion units, which is more than 75% of its expected thermal source, mainly coal. So, why should India reduce dependence on coal? First reason is reduction of pollution. Coal is highly polluted fossil fuels that contribute significantly to air pollution and greenhouse gas emission. Burning coal releases a large amount of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide and particulate matter, which contribute to climate change, smog, acid rain, and respiratory disease, cardiovascular problems, and even premature death. Coal is the single largest source of carbon dioxide emission globally. As a signatory of the Paris Agreement, India has committed to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions. Second is a way to clean energy production. India, India possesses abundant renewable energy resources, including solar, wind, hydro, and biomass. By shifting away from coal to promoting renewable energy sources, India can tap into a vast potential for clean energy productions. Third is addressing water scarcity. Coal-fired power plants require a large quantities of water for cooling and other processes. The extraction and consumption of water for coal mining and power generation can lead to water scarcity and ecological degradation, particularly in regions already facing water stress. Fourth is reduce import. India has relied on heavy on coal import. Reducing dependence on coal would save lakhs of forex reserves. Fifth is job creation. The transition from coal to renewable energy can create a numerous economic opportunities. The renewable energy sector offers potential to job creation, innovation, and technological advancement. Six is adhering to global commitments. India's transition away from coal aligning with the global efforts to combat climate change and transition to a low carbon economy. So this is important. Now, how India can reduce dependence on coal for electricity generation? First is increasing renewable energy capacity. India has set target of increasing its renewable energy capacity to 500 gigawatts by 2030, which would help to reduce share of coal in power mix. Renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, hydro, biomass can provide a clean, affordable and reliable electricity for India's growing population and economy. Second is improving energy efficiency. India can save energy and reduce emission by improving the energy of its power plants, industries, buildings, appliances and vehicles. Energy efficiency measure can also lower electricity bill, create jobs, enhance competitiveness. Third is phasing out old and inefficient coal plants. India can retire old and inefficient coal-fired power plants that's costly to run and maintain to replace them with cleaner and cheaper alternatives. Fourth is diversifying energy sources. India can reduce the reliance on coal and diversifying its energy sources and increasing the share of natural gas, nuclear, hydro power in its energy mix. These sources can provide flexible and sustainability of grid and complement the viable variable output of renewable energy. Fifth is strengthening grid infrastructure. India can improve its grid infrastructure and transmission network to enable the integration of more renewable energy and reduce losses and outages. India can also invest in smart grid, energy storage and demand response technology to enhance grid reliability and resilience. So, what are the challenges in switching renewable energy? First is poor financial condition of power distribution companies, most of which are owned by state governments. DISCOMs are the main buyers of renewable energy, but they often delay payments to generators or curtail their power due to low demand and high cost. This affects the viability and bankability of renewable energy projects. Second is lack of adequate grid infrastructure and shortage capacity to integrate variable renewable energy sources such as solar and wind into power system. This requires investment in transmission line, substations, smart meters, demand response and better storage to ensure reliability and stability of supply. Lack of financial intermediaries investment to mobilize capital for renewable energy projects, especially from domestic sources. India relies heavily on foreign financing for its renewable energy sector, which exposes its currency risk and policy uncertainties. Fourth is lack of investor understanding and awareness of opportunities and benefits of renewable energy, especially among small and medium enterprises, households, and rural communities. So, what should be the way forward? First, reforming the DISCOM companies by improving their operational efficiencies, reducing their losses, enhancing their revenue collections, and ensuring timely payments to generators. This could involve measures such as performance-based contracts, cost-reflective tariffs, smart metering, and prepaid billing. The new electricity rules by trying to bring reforms on power sector and if implemented properly would address the situations at a large extent. Second, there is a need to improve the information dissemination, capacity buildings, technical assistance and consumers enlargements to increase the adoptions and acceptance of renewable energy solutions. Third is strengthening the grid infrastructure and storage capacity by investing in transmissions and distribution network, enhancing grid flexibility and resilience and deploying battery storage and pumped hydro storage systems. This could involve measures such as green codes, ancillary services, renewable energy zones and green corridors. Fourth is mobilizing domestic capitals of renewable energy projects by developing financial intermediaries in infrastructure and can provide a low-cost, long-run terms financing, risk mitigation and credit enhancements. This could involve measures such as green bonds, green banks, green funds and green insurance. So, if you want to download this PDF, please check in the description box and thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe, share, like and comment.